Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is Secret Life of a Seamstress. I hope you're all really well. So I'm here today to share with you everything I made in the month of April. So I feel like I say this every single monthly makes video, but I feel like April has absolutely flown by again. At the beginning of April we had the 2-week Easter holiday, and then once the children went back to school the time just seemed to fly by, and now we're already on the 30th of April and it seems crazy how fast the year's going. So I didn't get a whole load of things made this month, but I did get 2 or 3 things made and I thought I would share them with you today. So if you are new to my channel is all about sewing with a little bit of knitting thrown in and sometimes some other crafts here and there, but mainly all about sewing. If you are new to my channel, I would love you to consider subscribing and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. So today was a really exciting day because I finally got to go to the hairdressers after about 8 months of not having my hair done or cut or anything. So hence my big bouncy curly hair today, but I'm so happy to have it cut. It was getting so long and so unmanageable that it feels really good to kind of have it cut shorter, and my hairdresser always does a lovely job of curling my hair and I can never do it quite right myself, so it's always really nice when she's done it for me. So yeah, happy to have had that done, and it feels a little bit more like a step back towards normality, which is always good. So without further ado and chit chat, I will get straight on to sharing with you what I've made this month. So the first set of things that I made this month was a little loungewear set for my daughter, and this was one of my Minerva brand ambassador projects. So the fabric that I've used here was kindly gifted to me by Minerva in exchange for a post and a review over on my Minerva profile on their website. So this month I chose a really super cozy fleece backed sweatshirt in fabric with a really cute kind of sausage dog print all over it. And my daughter is 9 and she absolutely loves dogs, so I knew that she would really love this print. And she also loves the colour blue, so it was kind of perfect for her. So I decided to make her a little kind of loungewear set of a sweatshirt and a pair of joggers that she could wear around the house while we're still kind of in lockdown and not going out very much. She really loved the pink loungewear set that I made for myself back a couple of months back now, and she kept asking me to make her one, so I thought that this fabric would be perfect for it. So this is the top, and as always I'll just pop in a few photos while I'm talking so that you can see the garments on. But yeah, it's just a plain kind of sweatshirt with some grey ribbing. I've just used a grey ribbing rather than the actual fabric, just to pick out the kind of grey tones in this blue and grey fabric, and I've used that on the neckband and the waistband there, and I've just used the normal fabric for the cuffs of the sweatshirt. And the grey just kind of pulls out the grey in the kind of blue-grey print on this fabric there, and I think that looks really nice. If I just hold this up to the camera, you can see how fleecy and cosy this is inside, and I'm kind of jealous of this outfit actually because it really is super cosy and this fabric is lovely. It also comes in like an ecru colour as well, which is really lovely. Maybe if you've got a small baby or something, that might be a nicer colour if you didn't want to use a blue. But yeah, I'll link the fabrics down below as always so that you can pop over and check them out if you want to. The pattern I used to make that sweatshirt up was this really lovely ickety pattern, which I've used over and over again, and it comes in a really wide variety of sizes. So it comes from an age 3 and goes right up to an age 12, so it really is quite a long lasting pattern. I think I got this when my daughter was about 5 or 6 and she's 9 now, and I've kind of just used it as she's grown up for different sweatshirts and things, and you can make a really cute little frill at the shoulder there, which I've done a few times before. But yeah, I do love this pattern, and it's a really quick, simple sew for a little child's sweatshirt pattern, and I love it. So that's what I used to make the sweatshirt top. And I'll just show you the jogger bottoms. So these are a pair of joggers. The pattern is by Made By Me Patterns, and I'll just pop in a picture so that you can see a picture of the pattern image if I can, but if I can't then I'll link it down below. They're actually a pattern company that are on Instagram, but they have an Etsy shop, and I just came across this pattern one day when I was searching for a child's jogger pattern, and it really is a lovely pattern. And again, it comes in quite a wide range of sizes. I think that goes from sort of baby size up until 10 or 11. I think I made a size 9 to 10 here with this one, which fits my daughter really well, but I just need to cut off about 1 inch of the leg length. But other than that, it's really a really good fit. And these are super quick and easy to sew up. I've made her a pink pair as well, which I think I've shown on a previous makes video, but I think I made these up in about half an hour. Really, really quick and easy to sew, and can mainly be done on the overlocker. So that's my first make, a really super cozy loungewear set for my daughter in this cute little doggy print fabric, which I love. I posted over on Instagram actually just to say that being a child of the 80s, does anyone remember when we used to call these loungewear sets jogging suits? I remember having these kind of outfits, like a sweatshirt and jogging suit combination made of the same fabric, and we always used to call them jogging suits, and now they're called loungewear sets, and it all sounds a bit too posh, doesn't it, for what they are. So it's really funny how times change and things get called different names. So the second thing I made in April is actually what I'm wearing, so I'll just talk about that now, and that is another Billy sweatshirt. So this fabric is another really cozy fleece backed sweatshirt in fabric, which I was kindly gifted by Graziella. I think I'm pronouncing that right, I hope I am. By Graziella Fabrics, who were once upon a time just stocking in the USA and are now stocking and shipping out to the UK. They kindly asked me to be involved in a giveaway with them, and they sent me 1.5 metres of this lovely fabric to make anything I liked with, and then we ran a giveaway as a collaboration over on Instagram. So this make was part of that collaboration and that giveaway, so the fabric was gifted by them. But I have to say, I'm really impressed with this fabric. I really love it. It's the first fabric I've ever used from them, and it's really lovely quality. Super soft and cozy, really easy to wash and cut out and work with. And yeah, I chose to make another Tilly and the Buttons Billy sweatshirt. So this is my battered copy of the Tilly and the Buttons Billy sweatshirt. And I've made a few versions of the sweatshirt pattern before, as you'll know if you've seen my previous videos. But this time I decided that I wanted to try out just the plain sweatshirt, but with 3/4 length sleeves. And I really like how this has turned out actually, and even though it's still really cozy, it's just that little bit more kind of spring-like because of the 3/4 length sleeves. So they're cut just sort of below the elbow, and then you add your ribbing onto where it's cut off just here. So a really nice kind of 3/4 length sleeve, and it just feels really nice. I quite like this length because I do tend to pull my sleeves up quite a lot like this, so I don't have to do this in this sweater, which is really nice. So with this version of the sweatshirt, I decided to make a small change to the pattern. So with my previous Billy sweatshirts, I just noticed that the shoulder seam was hanging over a bit far over my shoulders. So with this version, I decided to try taking in the shoulder seams just slightly by about 1 centimetre and grading down to the armhole, just so that my sleeve head sat a bit further in on my shoulder. It's going to be quite difficult to show you this on the camera, but perhaps you can see my kind of shoulder seam and where it's sitting now. It's just sitting a bit further in on my shoulder. And I think that if I make the balloon sleeve version again, I'm definitely going to make that change again, because I just noticed on my versions with the big balloon puffy sleeve heads, they're kind of hanging over a little bit and it bothers me a bit. So I think just taking up the sleeves a little bit just kind of makes it fit better on me. So just something to note if you're finding the same thing with the pattern. It was a really quick and simple change to make. I just literally, as I say, graded in a centimetre and then down into the armholes, and I feel like that's just sitting a little bit better on me. So yeah, not too much more to say about this make. I find this pattern a really nice fit, and I made a size 3 just because I prefer that kind of oversized fit on me with a sweatshirt. I'm normally a size 2 in Tilly and the Button patterns, but I sized up to a size 3 just to give me that extra bit of room. So that was make number 2, another Tilly and the Buttons Billy sweatshirt. So the next thing I made was actually something in collaboration with the Pattern Pages magazine. So the Pattern Pages magazine is an online digital magazine subscription all about sewing. They share patterns, hints and tips. I'm one of their bloggers, so I write for them regularly now, which is really exciting. But yeah, loads of lovely sewing content. So I will link them down below just so that you can pop over and see if you'd like to subscribe too. And I actually tested this pattern for them, which will be included in this birthday issue. So this is a really cute sleeveless kind of summery floaty blouse with a really lovely ruffle neck detail to the neckline. I'll just hold it up to the camera there so that you can see the really lovely ruffle. But yeah, it's a really pretty pattern. So the top, as I say, is sleeveless. There's a really nice lined yoke detail. And then it's kind of softly gathered underneath the yoke in the front and back, and it buttons up at the back of the yoke. And I've done buttons and buttonholes, but you don't necessarily have to. The pattern actually says that you can use snaps or poppers or something more simple than buttons and buttonholes. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can easily use I used to call them press studs, but I think they're probably more widely known as poppers these days. But yeah, a really lovely pattern. I've made mine up in a really soft drapey Atelier Brunette viscose crepe, which is just beautiful. I love this so much, and I was going to use this fabric for something else, but then I thought it would be perfect for this top. So I'm definitely going to be buying some more of this. It's really thin when you cut it out, but then when it's sewn up, it's actually quite drapey and weighty, and it's quite opaque, so it's not see-through. And especially where I've kind of double lined it at the yoke, it's really got a lovely weight and drape to it. So yeah, very impressed with this fabric. I bought mine from Minerva, and I'll link it down below if you want to pop over and check it out. It's really lovely. And then the armholes there are just bias bound, so it's a really kind of quick, simple make. I sewed this up in around 2.5 hours, so it is quite a quick, speedy make, and a good one that you could kind of make lots of different versions of for the summertime. With my kind of hacking mind going mad as it always does, I'm just thinking that you could take off this frill at the neckline if you didn't like that, and you could actually just bias bind the neckline and then have the frill going along the yoke instead, so you could have a nice frill just above your kind of empire waistline. I think that's an empire waistline, isn't it? Kind of baby doll style. So you could have your frill going across there, much like the sagebrush top actually from Friday Pattern Company. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could also add a ruffle to the back yoke as well, and I think that would be really pretty and something I would like to try next time I make this top. So I will link down below, as I say, where you can get your hands on this lovely 4th birthday issue of the Pattern Pages magazine and your own copy of this pattern. I cannot wait for the weather to warm up here in the UK because it's still absolutely freezing. Even though we're beginning May tomorrow, it is really cold still, and I have all these pretty kind of sleeveless summer tops I really want to wear. So I'm just waiting for the weather to warm up now so that I can wear them all. And lastly, I have a finished knitting project to share with you. Yay! So if you remember from a couple of videos back, I shared that I was in a bit of a pickle with this knitting project, and it just felt like it was taking me absolutely ages. I had to undo a whole load of it and then redo it, but it's finally finished and I'm really pleased with it. So this was the jumper that I was making. It's from the Mode Rowan Brushed Fleece book, and it's called the Silver Sweatshirt, and I think Rowan actually have another jumper or a shawl or something called Silver, because when I've searched for this online it comes up with something completely different, but in this book, the Brushed Fleece book, is called the Silver Sweater. So yeah, that's what I've been knitting for about 600 months, I think. It really has taken me quite a long while, but I'll just show you the finished jumper now. So here it is, here's my finished jumper, and I literally just finished sewing it up last night. So it really is kind of hot off of the knitting needles. But yeah, I'm so pleased with this now that it's finished. So I had to basically undo my whole front of this. I think last time I shared anything about this on one of my videos, I'd just undone the whole front. But the good thing about this wool and how kind of thick and chunky it is that it does knit up quite quickly. So I managed to get my pattern right this time and get the whole front done. And the sleeves literally took no time at all. They're quite short sleeves really, because the shoulders kind of drape over a little bit, so they're not too lengthy to knit. So they didn't take very long at all. I think the sleeves took a couple of evenings to knit. And then of course you've got this kind of big, almost like a cow neck to knit, which you knit up and then you kind of turn it over and sew inside. So yeah, I kind of really got a spurt on with it really and finished it quite quickly in the end, after it dragging on for quite a long while. The pattern does say that you should use the cable pattern on the front and the back. To make my life a little bit easier, I just did the cable pattern on the front, so my back is just actually plain stocking stitch, which I really like actually. I don't mind the pattern just being on the front, and it was much easier to knit. And I really quite like how there's no ribbing or anything on this, so it kind of curls up a little bit in that way that stocking stitch does, and I think that looks really pretty. So yeah, super pleased with this now that it's done. And I'm really pleased that I've finished my chunky knit project now, just as spring is kind of starting, so that I can make something nice and spring-like now and stop sweating while I'm knitting this in the evening. But in the end, despite my problems with it, it really was quite a nice, easy knit. Obviously the cable pattern does add a little bit more of a complexity, especially if, like me, you knit in the evenings and watch the telly at the same time. You just need to kind of concentrate that bit more with a cable pattern, but it's not a difficult cable pattern by any means. I mean, it's just keeping track of your stitches and where you are in the pattern really, which I wasn't doing. But if you're looking for something that's, you know, just that little bit more complex and makes you think a bit more, then this really is a nice pattern to use. So I definitely recommend it, and I'd really like to knit it again in the future now that I've done it once. So that's it for this video, just a really super quick one, just sharing the few things that I made in April. I hope you like them, and don't forget, I always love to hear in the comments what you've been making too. It really is good for inspiration for my own next project, and I always love chatting to everyone in the comments. So thank you so much if you do take the time to comment, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!